when I found out that he was not involved in an act of violence until after 13 years of brutal persecution, that really wanted me to look more into his life and to see exactly who this man actually was. And I remember thinking that, assuming this man was just this awful person that so many Islamophobes say, that why would over 1 billion people follow him? I mean, are they all insane? Are they all crazy? Uh, so that didn't make sense to me. How if this man was just a terrible person, how could all these people follow him? Um, I didn't know a lot about Islam other than the negative things that I had heard from other Islamophobes, like the Sam Shimons of the world, the Christian Princes of the world, and the David Woods of the world, and what have you. And that had formed a very negative image of Islam within me. And a lot of that was due to ignorance and fear of what I was told, not what is actually in the Quran, how Muslims actually live, how they treat other people. Basically, what I was taught about the Prophet was he was just this guy who got on his camel and picked up his swords with all of his companions, and they went around the desert just killing Christians and Jews and this and that. And so that is what formed the negative image of Islam within me. But I remember when I was active against Islam, one of the things I used to have in the back of my mind is, maybe there's more to the story. Maybe what I'm being taught isn't entirely accurate. Maybe I'm being unjust. For example, I didn't know that for the first 13 years after he became a prophet, he suffered some of the most brutal persecution at the hands of the Quraysh before God finally gave him permission to defend himself. I mean, him and his companions had suffered physical beatings. I mean, they were driven out of places that they had lived. And it wasn't until finally, after 13 years, did God give him permission to defend himself and fight back. See, I didn't know that. Well, my wife has mostly been supportive. I wish I could say the same for her parents. They are not. And I wish I could say the same for my former non-Muslim friends. Ever since I embraced the faith of Islam, most of them don't want anything to do with me now, unfortunately. They've called me names like traitor and this and that, and that's fine. They can call me whatever they want, because at the end of the day, I would not change a thing. And at the end of the day, I have no regrets. You all are my family now. This Ummah is my family. Allah is what matters to me, and His will is what matters to me. Expanding Islam, expanding the deen in the United States today, to the best of my ability, that is what matters to me. And not just in the United States, but in all the world is what matters to me. So people can think what they want, but I would not change a thing. Brothers and sisters, you have made me more happy in the past 2 weeks since I embraced the faith of Islam, more than my fellow Americans in this secular world has in my entire life, in 41 years. And I swear that's the truth. I absolutely mean that. The sense of family and brotherhood and camaraderie we all have together as Muslims is unlike anything the rest of the world possesses. The peace that I have is unlike anything the rest of this world possesses. That is the peace and the camaraderie and the brotherhood that only a Muslim can feel, that the non-believing world cannot feel and they cannot know, because it surpasses all human understanding.